Okay, so we have a 15-inch MacBook Pro here. We're going to turn it on. See the light turns on. But what we notice here are lines in the screen. You can see lines in the Apple here. And the system is attempting to boot. So we're going to let it start up. See what we find. This is a very typical chipset issue, memory-based chipset issue. So we do see it booting up. But we know that there, especially on these 15 and 17 inches units, there are two different kind of chipsets. You have a board sitting over here. I'll reach and get it while this is booting. Just put this right here. So this is going to be your extended video card right here. That's going to be the NVIDIA chipset. That's going to be your i-series processor, a 5 or a 7. Then that's going to be your Intel HD 3000 or 6000 chipset. And then this is going to be a secondary low-level process controller chipset. So in these units, you've got this chipset needs to be reflowed, this one, or this one. All three of them. So combination of this or this can be bad. This and this one and this one, but you never reflow this one because that's your processor. Now we see this unit's trying to start up, and it went for the Apple to the load screen, and we see that it's not actually turning on. So what we're going to do is break it down and reflow it and see where we go from there. But noticing that we have 1, 2, or 3 chipsets that we need to do, and we see that the unit turned itself off. When you push the power button, we see that it turned on and it went back directly to the same screen with the same lines. We're seeing the same lines, so we know that we'll turn this off, and we know that's our issue. So we need to take and reflow this machine and then see what happens from there. Okay, so we had this unit disassembled, and the first thing we see is we do have the NVIDIA chipset here. We have the Intel chipset here, and then underneath this speaker, if we can get a close up there, we see the third chipset. So most likely on this unit, it's going to need 2 or 3 chipsets reflowed, and that's exactly what we're going to end up doing. So we're going to take this fan off, take this heat shield off, take this speaker off, reflow these chipsets, and then replace the thermal compound, and then go from there and see what happens. Okay, so we're about to reflow our unit. First processor we're going to start with is the Intel processor. Then we'll move to the NVIDIA, and then last we'll move to that co-processor right there. But we're going to let this board heat up, reflow the one, switch it around, reflow the other one, then switch it around and reflow the last one. And then after that's done, we're going to let it sit, everything get tight, secure, nice and hard, and then put it back together and check the video on it and see where it goes. Okay, so we had the unit here. We're going to turn it on. See it booting up. Now this is going to take a second, strictly because with Yosemite, that's what it does. It takes a few moments to actually start up and turn the unit on. initializing the hard drive and going through the file system, but we see this bar right here shows that it's Yosemite, so we're going to let it start up. And we see that there are no red lines in the Apple, no red lines on the screen, period. There are no breaks or movements. But we'll make sure that this unit boots up completely to where it's supposed to go. And it looks like the unit has started up to where it needs to go. Now, we see that the mouse and trackpad and everything's working. We'll just go into guest, make sure that it starts up, does what it needs to do. Video-wise, it's aspecting the video. We see the screen, no separations, no distortion there. We see that it started up perfectly fine. Now, system is going to say incorrect time, just based on the fact that you had to take the system out and it resets the clock, so you have to do that. But it appears everything else is starting up perfectly fine. So what we're going to do is shut this machine down, call it complete, and go from there.